What's up, guys? I'm here with my new favorite deck from the Duskmourn era. This is Peeps, featuring the man himself, the Abhorrent Oculus. I love this card so much, not just for the fact that he is a ginormous eyeball, but also he is just so good. He is intended to have this additional cost to cast to make him harder to play, but if you play a deck that just fills up your graveyard, or if you play a deck that can just reanimate him and ignore the extra cost, then he is very, very powerful. And look at him, he's just such a big cutie. So today, this is effectively the Haughty Djinn Monastery Mentor deck that had been going around for a while. Except now we've got Peeps instead of the Monastery Mentor. So in here we've got all sorts of spells to go through the deck as much as we can. So Sleight of Hand, look at the top two, one to hand, the other to bottom. We got a Chart a Course, draw two, discard, letting you discard your Peeps to reanimate later. Moment of Truth, looks at the top three, one to hand, one to graveyard, one to bottom. And of course the Picklock Prankster that mills for. Then we've got our reanimation package for Helping Hand, return a creature with mana value 3 or less to the battlefield tapped. And Recommission, which is an extra mana, but it just brings it right in with a counter on it. So you can get your Peeps back from the graveyard without the additional cost. You can reanimate a Haughty Djinn that you put in the graveyard, and it'll probably have a gigantic power since you have a bunch of instants and sorceries. We also have a little bit of removal with Into the Floodmaw. This is really just for aggro decks that are running the little mouse and stuff. You can bounce them to hand without taking damage. And then a little bit of a counterspell package with Phantom Interference and 3 Steps Ahead to combat the more late game decks. And 3 Steps Ahead here is actually great because not only is it a counterspell, but it also lets you draw and discard, so you can pitch a Peeps and reanimate it, or you can even create a copy of your Peeps or your Haughty Djinn to go crazy. And then in the sideboard, we got anti-aggro stuff to prevent ETBs, negates for the late game counterspell decks, some graveyard hate, and a little bit of extra board wipe potential with the temp lockdowns. So let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, we are playing DGI DJO88. Sounds like an absolute baller. And we are going to be on the draw here. The thing about this deck is, it's like one of the only decks where I actually kind of feel comfortable keeping one-landers. You got Sleight of Hand, if you have Sleight of Hand in your opening hand, I think it's possible. And because we're on the draw, I think it's worth, since we've also got some gas here and a Helping Hand as needed. Let's see how it does. This is actually like also insane against the aggro decks. This person was kind of giving me aggro vibes based on their nice little lightning bolt there. Let's go searching for a land. Yeah, I gotta take the land there. This is giving me probably Domain vibes. Feels like Domain has been very popular in Best of 3 recently. Everyone out there is just like on crack trying to play Domain. Hi, pup. So the dream here is next turn we go Meticulous Archive, Surveil Peeps into the bin, and then Helping Hand Peeps back. That's the god tier play. It's an easy 1 in 50 chance. Sorry, 3 in 50 chance. There's 3 more Peeps in this deck. That's not horrible. That's what, 6%? Oh, let's go. Oh, opponent just did it for us. An absolute legend. Oh, opponent. Oh, you fucked up, buddy. Oh no. Okay, that's actually also really good. But no, we're gonna get that Peeps that homie just straight up gave to us. What a legend. Okay, we put instants and sorceries in the bin because it helps with the Djinn. We've got one in our hand. Hey Braids, what's up? Oh no, I lost some life. Herbie. My boy Herbie heard a singular sound in the distance and decided that he must protect the homestead. Yeah, this one's a little tricky. We could bounce Braids with Into the Floodmaw, but I think it's really important for us to hit our next land. I kind of am honestly tempted to just attack with Peeps and then just 2 mana draw 2. This gets us a little bit closer to our land, but honestly, this might be worth it right now just for the fact that we really need that land to keep going. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. Got the land, let's go. We'll put Picklock Prankster in our graveyard and that back in. We'll play our island, we'll go to combat. Not attack with that guy, and then Peeps is going for the kill, baby! And then we're gonna put a stop on their second main. We'll manifest that. This is just so that they don't go to their end step and trigger Braids before we can bounce it. Oh, interesting. Sorry, bud. Wonder what this deck is. This is clearly not Domain. It's like some weird... Oh, okay. I guess we will not learn that much more. Some enchantment-themed, braidsy... help us out a lot. Whoa, Arena's like glitching out up here. That's crazy. Okay, so all we know is 3 cards, and that they like the Lightning Bolt sleeve. I'm gonna put some negates in. Yeah, let's maybe 3. What do we take out here is the question, right? The tricky thing about sideboarding with this deck is it feels like a lot of these cards are just you want them in the deck, so it's hard to know what to take out. I typically have been a little bit unimpressed with Sleight of Hand, and a little bit unimpressed with Shard of Course. This is really good if you are trying to bin a Peeps or a Haughty Djinn to then reanimate the next turn. You can also, if you're like in an aggro matchup, 3 steps ahead is pretty bad. This feels slow enough that I think I'm willing to keep it in to either give us some card advantage / discarding stuff, or in order to just counter an important threat. I think we'll take out a Chart of Course. I like playing reactively, and you can't really do that with a sorcery. Like, you can't hold up the sorcery, you know? And then maybe we'll take out a Sleight of Hand, and I don't know what the 4th thing I'd like to take out here is. Honestly, I feel like this seems like a very favorable matchup. We may only need 2 negates. I didn't see too much graveyard synergy for Kutzel's Flanker that I'm worried about. I did not see any ETBs. This is not aggro. We could maybe run No More Lies, but I feel like we can probably just aggro them down if they're playing a little bit slowly. So let's see how this goes. We'll probably learn a little bit more of what they're actually trying to do with this deck, and then we can see how we want to sideboard in game 3 if we even get there. This is the perfect hand. I don't love this hand, but I think it's probably keepable at the point where we don't want to go to 5. Throw back an island, and we might not even play the Meticulous Archive for a little bit, actually. Ooh. Honestly, I might even pitch an island here, and then just go Meticulous Archive turn 1. I think that's probably correct. Yeah. Well, okay, now we could go Sleight of Hand. I'm fine with just Meticulous Archiving now. The trick about this deck is oftentimes you just want to run through your deck until you find a threat. So typically when you're surveilling, you want to surveil to the graveyard unless it's like a card that you really want. Oh, Duress, interesting. And yeah, at this point, I don't know that Phantom Interference is like going to be amazing right now or anything. Hey, bro had Duress and Hopeless Nightmare opening hand. I really don't think that we care that much about that. We'll go ahead and pass and plan to Picklock Prankster on his turn, depending on what he does. This is Braids. Yeah, it's Braids. Now the question is, do we want to bounce Braids? Don't think we do. I think we want to go ahead and play our Picklock Prankster here. Oh, that's too bad that he can't scry and then draw, because the way that Braids is worded, it's not a separate trigger. Alright, let's do this bad boy. Picking those locks. Franking those folks. Yeah, this is a tricky one. I'm tempted to grab the recommission, but the fact that we don't have anything else that's going to be able to put things in our graveyard makes me feel like Phantom Interference is better here. We just play reactively. Yeah, stuff like that, you know? So I think we're just going to go sleight of hand here. And then probably play a land and hold up the Phantom Interference and then into the Floodmaw. Yeah. We're going to grab the Djinn. Go to Seachrome Coast and say, do your worst. Gonna put a stop there. Okay, this is a May, so he does not have to sack Braids if it's the only thing on the battlefield. Good to know. Give me the pain. Okay, we'll resolve this. Oh, interesting. Oh, I totally did not read the land part. That's funny. Yeah, we'll let him draw. Do what he wants to do now. Kind of rough to sack your land, buddy. Jeez. And now he bounce Braids. We gotta keep in mind that he is working with the information that we had these cards. So he's probably just playing around a Phantom Interference. But next turn, the power of Djinn is that when you have 4 lands, you go Djinn, and then your Phantom Interference is actually just a 1-mana counter, which can be pretty effective. Homie is really thinking about this. Like, do I go for the throat my own Braids in response to Into the Floodmaw? Okay, thank you for letting me play Magic. Okay, this is probably going to eat a removal spell, and that is perfectly fine with me. Because we can either Phantom Interference it, or reanimate this bad boy later. No? Okay, I guess he is concerned about the Phantom Interference. Oh, interesting. Now, do we let him resolve this is the question. I don't really want him to double spell. And if we let the Djinn die, then we're no longer going to be able to cast this turn. I think we just go for this. Let him pay the 2. And that's his turn. That might be wrong. I'm not actually sure on that one. Here we just go Prankster, player land, they go. And here's Braids. We will keep a stop there. See if he wants to go to his end step. And I think we're just going to go ahead and bounce Braids again. Be as annoying as possible. This poor Braids can't sit on the battlefield. Okay, we are in pretty rough shape here with all of these lands. This one is looking not great for us because we didn't really find enough reanimation spells and enough of our threats. Dug through our library a bunch and then played reactively. This is, I think, the thing that I find to be the main downside of this deck. I'm gonna put some bluff stops here real quick. Yeah, I find the main downside of this deck to be the fact that if you just get unlucky and don't draw into your threats and your removal, it's not very effective. You know, which is the nature of any given combo-based deck. What makes them kind of fun is the uncertainty. Did our bluff work? Clearly not. Okay, well that's something. Probably far too little too late, but we can go play our 6th land and then try to get the double effect of this. Yeah, this enchantment is a beast. I think it's so powerful. Honestly, you gotta feel for Braids here, right? She's finally getting to do work after all of that sad bounce, bounce, bounce into the hand. He's played the same Braids 3 times in this one game, I think. Okay, we're not countering anything, it looks like. And he is not sacking anything. Yeah, I think we just hold up the Phantom Interference here. Of course is decent. We're really playing to our outs right now. I don't think that there's much that we can do to get out of this situation. If I just happen to draw Peeps or a reanimation spell, that'd be pretty good. Peeps, come to us in our time of need. Where are you, my child? No, Peeps. That is not you. I think we might discard the Phantom Interference here and try to bounce Braids next turn. Kind of frustrating that we can't double spell because of the ward too. Although I guess we could bounce the enchantment, but that feels kind of bad. Yeah, I think we pitch the Phantom Interference and then pray that Picklock Prankster puts us back in the game after that. Yeah, we're gonna pass. Put some stops. We'll let him go to combat. Attack me! And then we go bounce and pay some ward. Yeah, he responds. Okay, we got it. We got our prankster back. And here's Braids. The unstoppable force that is Braids. Oh my god, he got another one. What a legend. Unbeatable legend. Okay, now we pray for a Peeps and a reanimation spell. There's a Peeps, but no reanimation spell. Oh man, I think we gotta get the Soul Partition here. I really want to get Moment of Truth for a reanimation spell for Peeps, but I think this just keeps us alive a little bit longer. And we are not able to play our Picklock Prankster because of that ward cost yet again. Go to combat. I don't know why I'm putting all these stops. I'm just like reflexively. Poor Braids. This one single creature is going through so much in this game. You gotta be rooting for her. There we go. Finally, Braids brings it home. Wow. What a true underdog story right there. Okay, we've seen a lot more of this guy's deck. I mean, we just saw Braids like a million times realistically. But I'm seeing a lot of non-creature spells here. I do think it might be worth to add the other two negates. I've been testing No More Lies. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. But I'm kind of interested in testing it here just as a counter spell. Honestly, I don't know. Actually, the counter spells have not felt super good in this matchup. I'm wondering if we can just trim them a little bit. Yeah, one more cut. I'm thinking probably should be running more Soul Partitions, but I only had the one. Like some of you guys, I do not have a million wild cards. I have like 0. This does feel pretty powerful in this matchup because he has so many auras. This space bounces a creature while killing an aura. Yeah, I might just cut another Phantom Interference. It's not been feeling great here. Actually, I think I probably should cut a 3 steps ahead. We want to be a little bit later on our toes. We'll see if all this second guessing myself does us in here. DJO88. Alright, we're on the play for once. Let's go. Man, this hand slaps if we get a third land. These Djinns will just never be dead. We did not see Graveyard Hate from this guy. I would be very surprised if he's not running it. I've been having people mull to like I think some guy mulled all the way down to like 3 or 4 just to get a Leyline of the Void out against me. And it was pretty effective, I can't lie. Probably takes the Phantom Interference, yeah. There we go, we got our third land. We'll leave him in suspense. The correct play is probably this, but I would prefer that he not know that we're going to be able to cast Haughty Djinn on turn 3, since he does not, since he saw that we only kept a 2-land hand. These mind games are always like marginal advantage, and see, we got the other Seachrome, so we've kind of forced ourselves to get a tap land. But I don't think that's a big issue with this hand, just by nature of the fact that we can play another Djinn next turn, or we can reanimate it if he kills it. Oh, we got the Scavenger out. Oh, Bandit's Talent, that's fun. So I'm going to discard... I feel like this kind of helps us, bro. I think we just discard the Djinn and then Helping Hand it. Ooh. I wish we had this in our hand to discard. Alright, so I think we're gonna go Seachrome Coast. We're gonna grab the Djinny boy. And then we're gonna go swinging. And now we kind of want him to put a bunch of stuff in our graveyard so we can cast the Oculus. Oh, that's brutal. Poor guy. He keeps trying to make us discard stuff, and it's just helping us. Oh, Soul Partition is an incredible pickup here. Okay. This could be a problem if he starts leveling these up like crazy, but I think that we can outspeed him here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Peeps. We're gonna have a blocker for the Optimistic Scavenger just in case. I'm gonna put a stop on his end step just in case this is gonna trigger. I don't want us to die, but I think it's now time to race. I think we're turning the corner since he's low on health and we've got some removal in our hand. We will manifest this. 4 in the yard. Alright, buddy, what you got? Sheltered by ghosts, he says. He thinks he is sheltered, but he will not be. Goodbye. We got the nice. I don't know if that's a BM nice. No, okay, that was a concede nice. Sweet, we got there. That one was a little bit, I think, a little bit of luck on that last match with him just letting us pitch all of our stuff and reanimate it. Kept a very powerful hand against the type of hand that he had. But yeah, so there is the demonstration of the power of Peeps. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Yeah. And we got some rewards. I will catch y'all next time.